My dad left me a voicemail on a Tuesday afternoon. I was too busy with a meeting, so I figured I'd call back soon. But soon turned into Thursday, and Thursday turned into weeks, and the voicemail sat there waiting like a letter no one reads. He said, "Hey son, nothing urgent, I was just thinking about you. Remember when we built that tree house and the whole thing fell right through? Your mother's making pot roast, the dog still waits by your chair. Just wanted you to hear my voice, call me back when you get there. I meant to call on Friday, but the traffic held me late. I meant to call on Saturday, but I had too much on my plate. I told myself on Sunday, I'll call after church for sure. But Sunday came and Sunday went, and silence was the cure. I gave to the man who gave me everything and never asked for more. Just one phone call, just 1 minute, just the sound of his son's voice through the door. But I never called him back, I never called him back. And now I play that voicemail like a record with a crack. 37 seconds of a voice I can't replace, a father's love compressed into a digital embrace. 37 seconds is all I have left of his sound, and I trade every meeting I attended just to have him back around. He came to every game I played and sat in the same spot. Third row left side, thermos full of coffee, rain or not. He never was the loudest dad, he never made a scene. He just showed up like gravity, consistent and unseen. He worked a job he hated, so my mother wouldn't stress. He wore the same 3 pairs of shoes and called it more or less. He let me take the credit for the science fair he built, and when I wrecked his car at 17, he hugged me through the guilt. He taught me how to shave inside the bathroom with the fog. He taught me how to tie a tie and how to walk with God. He never read a parenting book, he never had a coach. He just loved us with the only tools a quiet man could approach. His hands were up from working, and his back was never straight, but he carried every burden like the due date wasn't late. He didn't talk about his feelings, that's the generation's flaw, but the way he fixed my bicycle told me everything I saw. And now I play that voicemail like a hymn before I sleep. 37 seconds of a man who ran so deep. I should have called him back that day, I should have dropped it all, because the richest man I ever knew just wanted one small call. He didn't want the money or the title or the fame, he just wanted 30 seconds of his son saying his name. God, I wonder if in heaven there's a porch with 2 old chairs, and my father sitting waiting with that same look, free of cares. And when I finally get there, will he smile and say to me, "You don't have to call me back, son, now we've got eternity"? And will he show me all the voicemails that he left me from above, the ones I couldn't hear on earth, but were loaded up with love? before. My son called me today while I was sitting at my desk. I saw the phone light up and something heavy hit my chest. I closed the laptop instantly and I answered on the first ring. And he said, "Hey Dad, nothing urgent, I was just thinking." And the tears came down like rivers that I didn't try to hide, because I heard my father's voicemail in my little boy's reprise. The cycle almost got me, the busy almost won, but tonight I'm calling everyone I love before the day is done. If your father's still alive tonight, put everything on hold. The meeting and the emails and the stories left untold. Pick up the phone and call him. Let him hear your voice say, "Hey Dad, nothing urgent, I was just thinking about you today." Because voicemails don't last forever, but the silence always will. The inbox fills with everything except the words we should have spilled. Call him back while the line is open still. Call him back, don't let the busy steal what only love can fill. The voicemail ends at 37 seconds, but the regret lasts a lifetime. Call him now, while his phone still rings. My dad left me a voicemail. She sets the alarm for 4 a.m. and prays before her feet hit the floor. Packs 2 lunches and a third one, just in case somebody needs more. She braids the hair and ties the shoes and finds the missing sock. She's a chef, a nurse, a therapist, a teacher, and a clock. Nobody sees the second job she works when they're asleep. The laptop on the kitchen table and the number she must keep. She Googles how to fix a leak at midnight in the dark. She learned to use a power drill because she had to build the ark. School called about the field trip and the $20 due. She smiled and said, "Of course I'll send it." Then she skipped her lunch to make it through. She cuts the coupons every Sunday like a surgeon with a blade. And the dollar store on Tuesdays is the shopping spree she made. Her nails aren't done, her roots are showing. Her last haircut was who knows when. 'Cause every dollar that could fix her goes to feeding little men. She wears the same 3 outfits on rotation through the week, but her children walk in new shoes every season, clean and sleek. And God sees the single mother when the world just walks on by. He counts the sleepless hours and he bottles every cry. She's not broken, she's not failing, she's not less because she's one. She's the bravest kind of soul sacrifice she planted is a seed that's fully grown. Her son asked why his daddy doesn't come to pick him up. She held it all together while her heart was breaking up. She said, some people leave, but God has never missed a day. He's the father to the fatherless, and he's not going away. Her daughter drew a picture of the family at school, 2 stick figures and a son and a house and a swimming pool. She said, that's me and you, Mama, no space for anyone else. And the teacher sent it home with a note that made her melt. She missed the parent-teacher night because the shift ran long. She cried inside the parking lot and sang her baby song, the one she made up at the hospital the night that he was born, before she knew that she'd be doing this alone and torn. The refrigerator hums at night, the bills are on the door, the magnets hold the math tests and the drawings and the store of memories she's building brick by brick, without a partner or a plan, just a woman and a prayer and a God who understands. But heaven keeps a record of the meals she stretched from thin, the Christmases she manufactured from the nothing in the bin, the birthdays with the dollar store and love that made it gold. The single mother's table is the richest story told. She made a turkey out of chicken once and nobody could tell. She made a Halloween costume from the Goodwill and some gel. She made a bedroom out of nothing in a studio apartment floor, and every makeshift miracle was a testimony worth more. And God sees the single mother even when she feels unseen. He's the husband to the husbandless, the bridge between the seams. She's not a half of something, she's the whole entire sky. And her children will remember that she never said goodbye. They'll grow up knowing sacrifice had a face and it was hers, and the legacy of love she built will echo through the years. One day her son will understand the weight she carried whole. He'll find the second job receipts and the overtime that stole her weekends and her Friday nights and her chance to just be young. And he'll realize his mother was the strongest person he had ever known among every hero in the storybooks and every name in every hall. The single mother was the greatest one. She gave until she had nothing at all. So if you are that mother with the cereal for dinner tonight, and the guilt is on your shoulders and the money isn't right, God says, I see you, daughter. You're not doing this alone. I'm the extra pair of hands you feel. I'm the second voice at home. The single mother's grace is the strongest kind of faith. She carries what would break a team, and still she stands in place. And the God who sees in secret will reward you openly. something great. The single mother's grace is the strongest thing that heaven ever made. The fluorescent lights don't flicker like the candles at the church. The beeping of the monitor replaces every verse. But somewhere between the ivy drip and the curtain on the rail, I found a chapel in the chaos, and I whispered through the veil. The doctor said, we'll see tomorrow. That's the longest word I've heard. Tomorrow in a hospital is heavier than a curse. So I pulled the plastic chair beside the bed where she was laid, and I prayed the kind of prayer that doesn't care how it was made. The hallway smells like bleach and fear and flowers from the shop. The elevator carries people to the floors that never stop. The nurse comes in at midnight with a flashlight and a chart. She checks the vitals on the screen, but she can't check the heart. My mother looks so small beneath the blanket and the wires. The woman who could lift the world was tangled in the fires. She whispered, read me something. So I opened up the Psalms, and the word became the medicine we placed inside her palms. God of the hospital room, I know you're in this place. Between the antiseptic walls and the tubes and the monitors of grace, you walk the halls of suffering. Before the nurse was born, God of the hospital room, don't leave us here alone. You are the surgeon underneath the surgeon's hand. You are the peace inside the panic that the science doesn't understand. The chaplain came at midnight, and he didn't say a lot. He just sat with us in silence, and somehow that was what we got. Not answers, not a sermon, not a promise wrapped in gold, just presence, just the being there. That's how the hurting's hold. My sister flew from Colorado on the red eye in the dark. She walked into the room and didn't speak, she just fell apart. And the four of us sat circled around the bed like a prayer without a word, because sometimes the silence in a hospital is the loudest thing God's heard. The cafeteria at 3 a.m. is the loneliest place on earth. A vending machine communion of the coffee and the hurt. I sat across from strangers who were fighting the same war. Different rooms, different names, but the same look on the floor. A man said, is it your mother? I said, yeah. He said, mine too. And we sat there eating stale chips like there was nothing else to do. Two strangers in a hospital who'll never meet again. But that night we were brothers in the fellowship of pain. I've seen miracles in waiting rooms that science can't explain. The scan that showed the tumor and then showed it gone again. The baby they said wouldn't breathe, who screamed her way to life. The husband who woke up and said his children's names and wife. I've seen doctors shake their heads and say, I can't explain the chart. I've seen the impossible become the possible when God decides to start. The hospital may run on medicine and code and protocol, but the miracles run on a frequency that answers when you call. God of the hospital room, you sit in every chair, you ride in every ambulance, you breathe in every prayer. You know the room number before the family's even told. God of the hospital room, you've never lost a soul. You've never lost the address. You've never missed the floor. God of the hospital room, you are the open door. She opened up her eyes on a Wednesday just past 3. She looked at me and smiled and said, I dreamt that God held me. He said it wasn't time yet. He said you still need your mom. And the room that smelled like sickness suddenly smelled like a holy dawn. The doctor called it progress, the nurses called it good, but I called it what it was, a miracle that only heaven could. She's home now, making pot roast like she never skipped a beat. And the hospital became the altar where my faith in God did meet. So if tonight you're in that hallway and the news is hard to bear, the God who raised the dead is walking past the vending machine down there. He's not afraid of diagnosis, he's not frightened by the chart. The God of the hospital room is the surgeon of the heart. He's in the waiting room before you get there. He's in the results before they're read. He's in the breath between the beeping and the words the doctor said. I asked God for the answer, and He gave me a delay. I asked Him for direction, and He told me just to stay. I said, Lord, I've been faithful, I've been patient long enough. He said, waiting is not punishment, it's how I build your trust. I watched the others get the job, the house, the open door. I clapped for every testimony, wondering what mine was for. My prayer list started looking like a graveyard full of hope, and I was tying knots at the very bottom of the rope. I applied for 47 jobs, and 47 said no. I prayed before each interview and still watched each door close. My friend said, maybe change the plan, maybe God is saying quit. But something in my spirit said He's building, not dismissing it. The savings account hit 0 on a Thursday afternoon. The car broke down the same week, and the landlord's coming soon. And everybody had advice like they were living said no. He means the roots are growing in the places that don't show. When God says wait, it's not because he forgot your name. He's building something underground that can't survive the rain. The waiting is the building, the silence is the work. When God says wait, the miracle is growing in the dirt. Abraham waited 25 years for the son that God had sworn. Joseph waited in a prison cell before the crown was worn. Moses spent 40 years in desert silence, staff in hand. David was anointed king and spent a decade on the land. Hannah prayed so long they thought that she was drunk inside the temple. The woman with the issue bled for 12 years as an example. And every single one of them could have said, God, where'd you go? But the waiting was the training ground for everything below. The patience became power, the silence became steel, and the promise didn't expire just because it took a while to feel. God's delay is not God's denial. Write that on the wall. The gap between the promise and the manifestation is the longest haul. But every person in the Bible who received the breakthrough first had to walk that hallway barefoot with an unrelenting thirst. The waiting room of heaven isn't empty or ignored. It's the classroom where the faithful learn the language of the Lord. So maybe you're in the waiting room of something you can't see. The pregnancy that hasn't come, the degree, the family, the healing that's in process, but the symptoms haven't changed. God says, I'm not ignoring you, I'm simply rearranging the stage. Maybe the job was delayed because the boss who would have crushed you leaves in June. Maybe the relationship was paused because the person isn't ready, but they will be soon. Maybe the house didn't close because the neighborhood was wrong. And God is redirecting you to where you've always belonged. When God says wait, the clock is not your enemy. He's composing something beautiful in a temple you can't see. When God says wait, don't confuse the pause with the end. The God who started writing your story knows exactly when. He knows the page, he knows the line, he knows the perfect scene. When God says wait, he's working on the things you haven't seen. And then one morning everything shifted like the wind changed overnight. The email came, the phone rang twice, the darkness turned to light. And looking back I understood why every no was said. Because every closed door was protection from a path that would have killed me dead. The job I got was better than the 47 that refused. The person that I married was worth every year I thought I'd lose. The house I live in now could have never happened on the first timeline I drew. God's delay was not denial, it was the better version coming through. So wait, beloved, wait, with your hands still open wide. The God who promised is the God who'll place the answer right inside. Wait not because you're weak, wait because you know the harvest always follows the season of the slow. if tonight you're on your knees and the wait is getting long, remember every hero of the faith sang this exact same song. They waited, hid, and they received, and so will you. When God says wait, He's not done, He's just getting started on something new. Wait, the promise is alive, the answer is en route. When God says wait, the breakthrough wears His fingerprints and boots. It weighs about 3 pounds, but it carries 50 years of underlines and margin notes and coffee stains and tears. The cover's barely holding on, the spine gave up in June, but Grandma's Bible on the table is the most expensive thing inside the room. She circled every promise like a soldier marks the map. She highlighted every red letter like it was a heart attack. Page 412 has got a prayer she wrote the night Dad left. Page 718 has got a teardrop from the day she buried death. The edges of the pages turn to gold from fingertip and oil. The ribbon bookmark frayed from decades of devotion and of toil. She taped the binding back together more than 7 times at least, and the scotch tape on the scripture is a monument of peace. There's a flower pressed in Psalms, a receipt from '84, a hospital bracelet from the day she almost walked through heaven's door. Each artifact between the pages tells the story of its own, and Grandma's Bible was a museum of the faith that she had grown. Grandma's Bible isn't leather, and it isn't bound in gold. It's a battlefield, a love letter, and a history of the bold. Every wrinkled page a sermon that no pastor ever preached. Grandma's Bible changed the family by the chapters that she reached. A revolution bound in paper and a legacy in ink. Grandma's Bible built a dynasty much bigger than you think. She didn't go to seminary, never stood behind a stage, but every morning at the kitchen table she was turning page by page. She'd read it while the coffee brewed, she'd read it through the pain. She read it when the money stopped and read it through the rain. When Grandpa lost his temper and the house would shake with sound, she'd open up to Isaiah and the peace would settle down. When the doctor said the word she feared, she turned to Psalm 23. In the valley of the shadow was a place she walked with company. There's a family tree inside the front cover, every birthday and every date. The ones who made it, the ones who wandered, the ones who came back late. She prayed by name through every chapter, every bloodline, every kid. And the prayers inside that Bible are still doing what they did. My cousin found his way to church in 2019. He was lost, he said something pulled me from the bar stool. And I don't know what it cost, but I know it was a prayer that Grandma wrote in '94. She circled his name in red and put a star beside the door. I found it in the closet after Grandma went to rest. I opened it like treasure from a woman who was blessed. And there between the pages, pressed like flowers from a field, were prayers she wrote for me before I even knew could heal. She prayed for my salvation, and in 1987 she prayed for my future wife. In 93, like she was talking straight to heaven, she prayed for children I haven't had by name she couldn't know. And every single prayer she wrote, God answered blow by blow. I sat on the floor of her bedroom holding that Bible to my chest, and I realized I was holding the weapon that had kept this family blessed. Every demon that attacked us hit that Bible first and bounced. Every generational curse was broken by the prayer she pronounced. She didn't need a megaphone, she didn't need a crowd, she just needed Genesis to Revelation and a knee against the ground. That 3-pound book with coffee stains was heavier than it seemed, because it carried 50 years of warfare and the family's every dream. I read it to my children every night before they sleep, the same pages, the same verses, the same promises to keep. And when they ask me, Daddy, whose handwriting is this? I say that's your great-grandmother, and she's the reason that we're this. Every underline's a battle, every margin note's a win, every coffee stain's a morning that she chose to fight again. And one day I'll add my handwriting beside the one she made, and the Bible will keep building what a grandmother and God displayed. So if your grandmother left you nothing but a Bible full of ink, you've inherited a weapon, and you're richer than you think. Because the prayers of a grandmother outlive the one who prayed. Grandma's Bible built a dynasty that death can never take away. Pick it up tonight, open it up and read the words she cried. Trace your finger on the underlines and feel her right beside. Grandma's Bible is still preaching from the shelf where it was placed, and the ink is still alive, the prayers are still running, the family's still safe. Grandma's Bible, the greatest inheritance on earth.